Okay, we are live. Welcome to the weekly Tuesday live stream. I am looking forward to sharing some great guitars with you today. I almost titled this video Traditional Tuesday because that is what it is. There are no modern designed guitars today. I've got some awesome instruments here, as you can see from the title and the descriptions, if you're watching either now or later. The first guitar that I'm sitting here with that I'll be going through is by Luigi Locatto, a great, very well-known Italian luthier. Followed by, I'm supposed to be holding the Friederich right now, so I'm going to go back to that. But this Luigi Locatto will actually be last. The first guitar will actually be this one by Daniel Friederich. And this one's from 1968. It's a Recital model of his. And it's on the website. This is the only one in the stream that is on the website so far. The other two are very new arrivals. Seeing if this is going out to folks here. So apologies if you're watching this afterwards. Definitely use the timestamps if you're watching this afterwards. Cool. I am live. We're good. If you're just tuning in, say hello. If you're watching after the fact, let me know. I'm always curious if people are interested in watching these even after the live stream here. And I try to, once I start playing the guitars, be as concise as possible and stick to the subject so that it does make for somewhat of an interesting playback experience afterwards. As I was just saying, for those of you I think that are just tuning in here, that I'm going to be starting with this guitar by Daniel Friederich. It's a 1968. That'll be going to an awesome new Dake Traphagen guitar that I just got in. And then finishing with an awesome Luigi Locatto. Phil Tudman, hello from Cambridgeshire. Awesome. Hey, thanks for tuning in. It must be, afternoon over there. 5 or 6 o'clock. I am actually very well prepared today. The guitars are in tune. I started on time. I need some congratulations here. No, I'm kidding. I was thinking I'd just wait for a couple of others to join here before starting sharing these guitars. And if you are just tuning in, say hello. And I'm looking forward to playing some for you here today. All right, we've got nice guitar here. Hello, hello. Lucas, Testament de Emilia. Ooh, okay. I can play some Testament de Emilia for you. Love that piece. You know, I'm playing a concert in less than a week in Sarasota, Florida. And I almost always start my concerts with Testament de Emilia and Canso de Yadre by Yobet. And I'm not this time, and I'm sort of bummed about it. But I was thinking sometimes it's a little bit low energy to start with these slow of pieces and a concert. So this time I'm starting with a Targa set with Tengo Maria by Targa. You guys let me know. And I was sort of thinking of switching this with Albanese, actually. I have an Albanese set that I'm playing, but just thinking of these things. Congrats. All right, good. You guys are hearing me loud and clear. All right, Don, nice to see you. Hello, hello from LA. Well, okay, I'll go ahead and get started as people are tuning in now. And by the way, guys, I'm curious. Those of you that are here, do you get reminded about these streams from YouTube popping up a notification on your phone? Or is it something that you thought of and tuned in? Because for me, whenever I'm interested in live streams happening or someone's video, even if I didn't click it, YouTube, it'll pop up on my phone just because it knows I'm subscribed, I'm interested in the channel. So anyways, just curious as always. It's some of these things are big mysteries, even though they have all these complex analytics. It's big mystery to me. So okay, let's get started. We'll talk about some great guitars here. Those that are just tuning in, I was saying at the very beginning that I almost titled this Traditional Tuesday because all the guitars here are traditionally braced. Of varying years, actually. Very much different years here. Starting with this guitar by Daniel Friederich in 1968. Next we'll be going to a Dake Traphagen, which was finished a few weeks ago or something. It's a 2024 guitar. Look, I'll give you a little teaser here. Because this one, I haven't mentioned to anyone yet. I just got it in a few days ago. It's a traditional guitar based on Simplicio bracing that he's inspected thoroughly. And it's really neat because it has some modern elements too, like a sound port with a cover for it. And this is not on the website yet. So, gosh, I just pulled it out of the case. I just wrote to Dake. I pulled it out of the case for the second time, and it's drastically changed. It sounds so much better now. And as you'll notice, if you all have ever received a guitar in the mail, the first day can be pretty wacky for a guitar. It's getting used to the new environment. It's been detuned for a long time in the mail. And when that's the case, it just doesn't sound normal, like a normal guitar right away. It sounds kind of out of control. And I can't wait to share with you all these guitars. Lastly, the Luigi Locatto, same sort of experience. I got this one in the mail too, and now it's sounding like this old soul. So the point of saying all this, and I was reading your comments, so also got me a little distracted. Hello, everybody. This is a 1968 Daniel Friederich. Then we'll be going to a 2024, finished a few weeks ago, Dake Traphagen guitar, and then a 2006 Luigi Locatto, which you can see in arm's reach here. The famous Italian luthier, fantastic, super lightweight, beautiful sounding guitar. Let's get started. And please leave questions along the way. I love that someone suggested a piece for me to play that I actually know. This is excellent. So if there's any questions you have or pieces that you want to hear, I'd love to hear that. Oh, Dave, hello. Dave says that guitar looks to be in really good shape for a 68. Man, tell me about it. I'll show you up close in a second here, and there's photos on the website. But getting started here, we'll start out with this Daniel Friederich guitar from 1968. Man, I have to say, I've owned quite a few Friederich guitars now, and there's a very interesting difference between this Recital model guitar and his like concert model guitar of like, let's say the 80s and 90s, and of course early 2000s as well, which those later model guitars are maybe the ones that he ended up becoming more well known for, but they are heavier built. They're doubled sides, and in general, the guitar just feels a little bit less resonant from behind. Of course, the projected tone is amazing. But on this guitar, this Daniel Friederich Recital model from 1968, it's a very, very lightweight guitar. It doesn't feel similar to, for instance, the 1994 that you've seen on my channel, or even the 1979. That one was a little lighter weight than the 94, but this one is lightweight and you feel the sound all around you. And the neck is considerably thinner than these other models that I have played on, especially his later guitars. I mean, Daniel Friederich is quoted as saying, "My guitars are harder to play now, but players are also getting much better." There's a quote where he talks about this, and of course the material is used for the neck and the thickness was very important to him. But I think that's a funny thing to say. My guitars are harder to play now. So yes, this is a very, very easy to play guitar with a super low action. You have to hear how it sounds. Since I'm in drop D, preparing for Testament de Amelia that Lucas suggested here, I'll play a little bit of that on this guitar if I can find the harmonics. Okay, let's try. is a beautiful guitar. As you can tell, I'm missing some harmonics here. There it is. There's the A. But this guitar has such a singing quality to it, and it's just amazing how, you know, over the years, it could be from the 60s and it can be to the late 90s, early 2000s. The Friederich sound is something to speak about. It is a characteristic that is held through all of the guitars. In fact, I would bet money that if you took all the guitars out of my room, then when I actually came to pick this up, if I was blindfolded and I picked up this guitar, I could tell you it's a Friederich. By the sound of it and the feel of it, it's just... It's crystal clear, buttery smooth. Yeah, Dave says buttery smooth singing sound on the trebles. And there's a lot of dynamic range to the basses. And you know, some of these things, the language that I use, the language that others use, sometimes it's very difficult to describe things. I was thinking about this today, again, about, you know, dynamic range. Sometimes when I say dynamic range, I realize I didn't even mean it. I don't mean like, you know, the distance and disparity between the really quiet notes and the loud notes. I really mean like all of the different colors and possibilities at those ranges. Because of course on any guitar you can pluck the note and create an extremely soft sound, and then you could strum and create a very loud sound. But it's the quality of the sound in each of these registers that makes the dynamic range exciting. And that's what I wanted to say about this guitar, is that like when I play quietly, it's just so elegant and sweet and warm. And then when I play a little bit louder, it's got a little bit more oomph to it, right? That's still mezzo forte, right? If I go forte. Then it's got this regal quality that I really associate with Friederich guitars. It's like, it's got this really direct, bright response that's balanced out by some really nice low overtones. Oh, it's so beautiful. And then, yes, the trebles. It's the type of guitar that actually wakes up as you play it too. I'll play a little bit of Julio Florida on this. I love this guitar. That's a really great one. This is a Daniel Friederich from 1968. Indian rosewood back and sides. It's got a couple of professionally repaired cracks on the top, as many of these older guitars do. Very stable, sounding so great. It's so much fun to play, and it's just got this voice that sounds like it's been played every day since 1968, and it's a real pleasure to get to know. I'm going to bring this guitar to show my former maestro, Adam Holzman, later this week. It's such an awesome guitar. Okay, moving on. Oh, let's see, some questions. This is great. Oh, nice guitar. Asked for Recital. Like this. Okay, so another question. How do you tease out the difference? Is a room with poor acoustics hurting a great guitar, or is another room with great acoustics helping a poor sounding guitar? Gosh, it's all what you mean by poor acoustics and great acoustics. These are words like quantifying the acoustics into levels is very difficult for me here. Because some people might, when some people say good acoustics, they mean like a very echoey room that like makes the guitar sound like it has longer sustain and reverb and all of these things. Some people might say that's great acoustics, and others are going to say that's poor acoustics because they want to hear the guitar more clearly. Now, I admit that sometimes I say, wow, this room has great acoustics, because when I play in it, I feel very comfortable and I feel like I'm not on edge because the room does something for me. It contributes to the sound, which really any room that's not dead sounding, like this room, which is carpet, will contribute. The room will contribute some information to the sound, and that can be really pleasing for the player. And actually, if it's good acoustics, and there's like science behind this part, I guess, it can be good for the audience if the room is treated correctly. Meaning that everyone in the audience, depending on where they are, no matter where they are, will still have an equally good listening experience. Now, when it comes to recording guitars, which maybe is what Nice Guitar is asking about here too, is certainly rooms that contribute like data to recordings, like bigger sounding rooms. Say it's like a hall or a room that's 2 floors with no carpet and it's all hardwood floors, whatever, this type of scenario. This will influence the character of the guitar, whether it's a great guitar or a bad guitar, and the sound will be different than in a dry sounding room. So of course, in recordings, oftentimes with classical guitar, we're recording very close, like within arm's length reach from the mics, so that when you are picking up the sound of the room, it's really not much of it, right? It's more up close to the soundboard. And like, for instance, in this room, even though it's not sound treated, it's carpeted, so there's less random, less random artifacts in the sound, although I have gotten recommendations from some friends of mine about sound treating this room, which I do plan to do. But the conclusion of this to me is that larger sounding rooms that, that are echoey and reverby will help great guitars, and I mean all guitars. It'll help all guitars to some degree. Now, the listening experience, this is all having to do with the treatment. I mean, for me, I'm playing this concert in Sarasota on Monday, and I've played in that church before, and I know it's a great sound in there, so I am not worried at all about feeling exposed on stage. Now, is it a great sound for the audience? I really don't know. I mean, personally, if I had the choice of any listening environment for a classical guitar concert, it would be sitting right in front of them in a dry sounding room. I don't want to be deep into a church hearing all the echoes and no, I don't want that. I mean, my favorite experiences really are when friends or colleagues or professionals alike, whatever, are sitting right in front of me playing something. That's the best case scenario, and I like to think that's what I'm trying to replicate here, is that I'm like sitting right in front of you. Okay, off of my little high horse here. Let's go on to the next guitar. That was a 1968 Friederich. Now, I'm going to present to you a brand new guitar that is traditionally braced by the American luthier Dake Traphagen, which I've now had a couple of guitars. I mean, gosh, I want to say like 4 guitars of his in the past like year. Mostly all traditional, 1 double top. And this one he wrote to me feeling that is a very special guitar. And it is braced like a Simplicio, like a 8-fan bracing inside. There's a group of 6 that are going down the middle, and then 2 smaller ones on the outside that make it 8. And I mean, it's a fantastic guitar, and I just got it in 4 or 5 days ago, something like this. Now, you're not going to notice Simplicio elements aesthetically as far as like the rosette or the headstock or any of these things. It's all just about the bracing. And it is a very, very appealing sound. And what I really like is he included the sound port. Of course, this is not something that Simplicio did, but of course he did the double ports up 1929, I believe. Anyways, up at the top, I think there's like 9 of those guitars. Anyhow, this makes it a nice variable to the sound where you can sometimes enjoy it open, sometimes enjoy it closed. I'm going to start with it closed. And let's take a listen to this thing. I have to say, when I first took it out of the case a few days ago, I thought, well, this is a nice guitar. And of course, knowing that it's going to change a lot after it sits there with tension on it for a little while. And then I took it out today for the first time since then. I was just writing to Dake about it. And it has completely changed character. It is now very open sounding. Just listen to this thing. I might have to tune it a few times. By the way, this guitar has all nylon strings on it. I'm used to playing carbon GMB, which I'll likely eventually change. But you know what? This guitar has some qualities of a Simplicio, and I have a Simplicio over here. I'm not going to take it out right now. Too many guitars to talk through today. But still with this sound that I think Dake just absolutely pulls from every guitar he makes. Just this hearty bass sound that I really love. It's got so much chunk to the sound. Now I have to tell you, immediately I have to change these strings because this first string, it came this way too. Very torn up first string. You can hear it. And when, by the way, lots of people ask, when do you know it's a good time to change strings? Well, when you touch your strings and your finger runs underneath it and it feels like it can cut your fingers, this is a good sign. And usually this comes from players that have been playing the guitar that don't polish their nails, or if they are, or you know what, they have maybe a less refined idea of how nails should be. The strings will often come they'll become very scratched up very quickly. Even if I have a friend over who hasn't polished their nails in a little while, they'll tear up the strings very quickly. But I can still find places to make this first string sing. But isn't this great? Play a little for you. Such an elegant sound to this one. Let me see. By the way, if you hear rattling, it's tree branches hitting the window here. It's very windy out here. Very windy. Let's see. Yeah, gorgeous sound, lovely sound. Good morning, Evan. Do you plan on getting a Smallman at some point? Have you ever had the chance to play one? If so, where would you rank them? Jose, yeah, you know what? Hopefully I have a Smallman in sometime soon. I haven't had the chance to offer one in my shop before. And to be honest with you, I've played some great ones and some ones that I really can't stand. But you know what? When you are a maker like Smallman, and there are such high expectations. I mean, when someone picks up a famous guitar, doesn't matter if it's Smallman, Dahmen, you know, it could be Fleta, Ramirez, Hauser. I mean, any of these famous makers, people have this expectation of like, okay, it better sound like John Williams or whatever the case is, you know. And I think oftentimes, you know, people assign the price value of a guitar. They're like, wow, that's a very expensive guitar. This thing certainly doesn't sound good. This happened, or it doesn't sound worth that amount or something. I think this type of thing happens. Gosh, I have played some really great Smallmans, and I have to say there's some from the 80s that I've really loved. There's some modern recent ones that I've really loved. And then some that I just felt were extremely nasal sounding and the classic things that you'll hear. But I feel that there's a nuance missing with a lot of people's opinions on some of these famous guitars that, yes, I'll stand on a little high horse and say something that I feel about this, is that a lot of times people's opinions on guitars are very quick. They make very, very quick judgments without letting their hands adjust, their ears adjust, hearing it from the other side, many different things. But I mean, mostly those first few things is letting your hands and your ears adjust. So for instance, I have a guitar here that just recently sold by the German luthier Michel Bruck. I was actually just on the phone with him. And he makes maybe the most sensitive double top in the world. Honestly, the most sensitive. It is every little sound you make will be transferred through the guitar, right? And this is how I feel about it, at least. Now, some people, when they pick up that guitar, and if you watch the review, you'll know what I'm talking about because I mention it in the review. Some people, when they pick up that guitar, when they pick it up, they immediately hate it, and they don't give it a chance to say, nope, not for me. And that's an understandable reaction. Everyone is entitled to their own judgments with these types of things. However, if you, many people that give it a chance and play it for a little bit longer will start to notice more qualities about it and how to treat the guitar, right? These instruments are very complex. Each one of them, you know, with the luthiers making tiny changes over many years to get the sound that they want. I don't think it's something that you can interpret and adjust to your hands to in just a minute. And I have to say, some of the best players and I don't want to even really mean players, but like some of the most interesting people to have over to try guitar, some colleagues and friends of mine, are ones that are very good at making a wide variety of guitars sound good. When I say wide variety, I mean like, yeah, something like a Smallman versus a Dahmen versus a Simplicio. And what you'll notice in the characteristics of people that can make all of these instruments sound good is that they adjust the way they're playing to the guitar. You know, it's really something. If you're used to having some guitar that's really loud and you're always blasting into the guitar, and then you go pick up a Torres, you're going to make that Torres sound like a little Fisher-Price toy. So this is something that happens, and it's I think it's certainly pertaining to Jose's questions about Smallmans. It's something that happens really frequently. Is someone will immediately play a Smallman, they'll be like, nope, not for me. I can hear the lattice sound. Instead of taking time to adjust to it and learn the sound. And man, you know what? John Williams there's a really great article where he's interviewed about the sound of Smallman, and he talks about the criticism of the lack of color in the guitars. And he basically was like, no, you can achieve whatever color you want with the movement of your hand. And he mentions how the turning of your hand and manipulations of your fingers is essential. I hope I'm remembering this correct. Maybe someone can chime in that's a nerd like me. But he talks about this, and of course, this is something that you don't pick up a guitar and instantly notice. So there's a little defense for for small men and some of the guitars that are a little bit more controversial or polarizing, I could say. Hello, Antonio. Welcome. Let's get a little bit more into this Traphagen guitar. And gosh, I'm already going over the time I expected to spend here, but that's how we do it here. How's everyone doing? Am I being too much of a nerd? How about this? Oh, I need to tune it, sorry. My third string. And second. Wow, I went way too sharp. Oh, how about this? We compare the port open versus closed in a live stream. Now look, no guarantees here. This is not as high quality as, it's impossible for it to be as high quality as when I actually am doing a real recording here. Now I'll remove the port. And sorry, there's some background noise here that'll go away in a minute. I have to admit, I prefer the sound of this guitar with the port open. It's just so satisfying and deep and warm, and you get a sensation from behind the guitar that's really nice. And while I haven't tested on this guitar, most guitars that have sound ports, I have to say, I typically prefer when I'm on the listening end. In fact, when folks come over, I have students over, they sit over here, and I sit here facing them. And when I hear people play the guitar for me with port open versus closed, I almost always prefer it open. In a hall, this might change, but in a room, it just sounds a little bit more open. And yeah, through the live stream, you're most likely not going to be able to tell much of a difference. It's already hard in person, but it feels good for the player, for sure. Yeah, I'm so sorry. There's yard work going on here. There's wind blowing. I might have to pick a different day instead of Tuesdays because it has become a thing that I hear lawnmowers and weed whackers outside during these, which is so excellent for a listening situation. Oh, I'm reading some comments here. Yeah, different guitars have to be played differently. Absolutely. You know what? I feel that people that make the slowest opinions on guitars when they try them usually have the more mature opinions rather than the knee-jerk reaction types. But who knows what I'll become when I'm older. I'm going to be a grumpy person that's just like, oh, that guitar sounds like trash, and impose my will on everybody. My ears really like the Traphagen. Nice mellow acoustics. Yeah. Oh, Dietmar. Oh my gosh. Good to see you here. It seems more bright without the sound port. Yeah, if anything, I can feel that. Of course, with the sound port closed, there is a perceivable difference in the main air resonance when I tap the guitar. Although, since it's a rather small port, it's hardly a half step difference. I mean, it's bare. It might be close to a half step. We're not going to be able to hear it through the stream. See, it's just a little bit higher. Maybe y'all can hear this. Crank up your speakers and see if you can hear that while there's no yard work going on for a half second here. Here we go. Ready? This is it with it closed. See, it goes up by nearly a half step. And so when it's closed, you do get a little bit deeper, maybe a darker sound. And perhaps a little bit more focused. And then open. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, what an exceptional guitar by Dake Traphagen. For being a guitar that is like 5 days from being tuned up here, well, it's a few weeks. I know this guitar is at least a few weeks old, but I got this just a few days ago. It's its second time coming up to tension, and it is sounding so open. And yeah, if you're looking for a guitar that will grow with you and that is super easy to play and a nice, beautiful traditional sound that's also very loud, to be honest. It's waking up more as I play it, then this could be the one for you. And it's not even on the website yet. If you're interested, I can snap some photos, make a little video for you, and let you know more details. Kenneth asks, okay, you know what? You guys are going to get some opinions here. Kenneth asks me, and I think he emailed me too. Kenneth, you tell me. Did you email me or leave? You left a comment, I think, not email. Kenneth asked, do you have any experience or heard about guitars from the Italian luthier Fernando Mazza? Yes, I have. And I have to say, and I would tell this to him as well, I cannot stand the headstock on those guitars. So it could sound like heaven on earth, and I wouldn't play them, to be honest. So maybe this will be something to change, but if you guys want to know, this is my personal opinion. This is not something that everyone has to adopt, and some people may really like it. But on these guitars, the headstocks look like something that I could really defend my household with. They're sharp and extremely long and very violent looking. I'm okay. I don't need to like fend off predators or something. So I won't. Oh, stream is disconnected. Did you guys get that? I've just been hacked by the. I've said something wrong. My app here said stream disconnected. Let me know if you guys can still hear me. But yeah, I don't like the headstocks of those guitars and some other aesthetic things as well. But this is, of course, something that every luthier goes through a variety of headstocks, some worse than others. Or some better than others, I should say. You guys are catching me in a moment while I'm being a hater here. But anyways, I have some friends that play their guitars, and I don't know if it's a sponsorship situation or if it is a or if they genuinely love the guitars, but they seem to be doing very well, and I'm happy for their success. We are going on to a guitar. Oh, the audio and video are now desynced. It skipped a moment. Oh no. Can someone confirm if it has now gone back into sync? Bummer if it hasn't. I'll wait because I know this, the actual live stream is like, for whatever reason, a few seconds behind when I'm speaking. Let's see. Anything else here? And then I'll talk about the last guitar of the day. Let me refresh. Yeah, let me know. Is anyone seeing that the audio, if it's still streaming? Okay, I'm gonna just continue here. We're gonna go on to the last guitar of the day, and I'll say last but not least because I've been playing this guitar actually quite a bit. This is by Luigi Locatto, the famous Italian luthier. This one is from 2006, and it's there's actually several great videos on this guitar that if you are interested in it, send me a message, send me an email, and I'll send you the videos. Recorded at dealers that had this guitar before. This is a special instrument. Now, I have to say, the first thing you'll notice when you pick up this guitar before even playing a note is that it is very lightweight. It's a very, very lightweight guitar, and it's got a very deep sound. I mean, this is obviously once you play a note, but the body size is very comfortable. I would say it's like a Torres shape here. It's obviously somewhat Torres inspired, I would say, at least from the plantilla of this guitar. But the sound of it is just... It's just... It's so mellow and elegant. Sometimes people write to me specifically asking for like a mellow, easy to play guitar that's very relaxed. Not relaxing, but like forgiving. That's the word I was looking for. And this is that guitar. Both this guitar, this Luigi Locatto, and that Dake Traphagen guitar are not on the website yet. They are for sale, but just please write to me if you are interested. It's a spectacular sounding guitar. I'm getting some comments that the connection is terrible. There's a little bit less viewers. Yeah, try refreshing the page, y'all. I'm thinking that might help. Thanks so much for writing that, Dave, and Kenneth. Cool. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tolerating my opinionated junk here. It's spectacular sounding though. And the action is so low. Very easy to play. Let's do a little bit of Julio Florida on this. I think I did it on every guitar. Wow, my mind is shot. I'm so tired. I should go to sleep. Did you hear me say I'm going to play Julio Florida? This happened to me yesterday too. I was running a part of my concert program and I was like, okay, I'm going to play Julio Florida. And I go like this. This is La Paloma by Targa. But they both have this slide from F sharp to A. Okay, I'll actually play Julia Florida. How come no one has screamed at me yet in the comments? You guys should know. Okay, here's Julia Florida by Barrios. You know what? The familiarity with this guitar, this by Luigi Locatto, comes from the feeling I have that when I play my Blackwell, which is just out of frame there, I'm trying to point to it on your screen, that guitar right there, it actually feels very similar. The way the guitar is so forgiving, yet when you push the guitar, it brightens up. I go through phases, but I think I love that quality. I mean, the reason being is like sometimes when guitars are a little bit too on the nose as far as like brightness and when it pops out of the guitar too fast, I think it catches me at the wrong time sometimes. You know, it's like it's like hearing a loud noise early in the morning or something. But when a guitar is like this, and it's really warm sounding when you are gentle with it. Or, you know, if you want to brighten it up and be gentle, you can come really far close to the bridge. Which it does so well. Of course, I'm comparing guitars here, they're totally different styles of building. But this quality... it's one that I really admire. Wow. What does this make me want to play? Yeah, this is a guitar that you just want to keep on playing and exploring. There's a lot of sound to discover. Sometimes in my videos and just in my own playing, I really enjoy playing over the soundboard here. And some guitars have a particularly natural feeling to using your flesh over the fingerboard. And this one really does. Whether it's flesh or nail. You know what it is that on some instruments, when you play this up high on the guitar, it just sounds kind of like a defunct guitar. It just sounds like, oh, he's not playing in the right place. And then on other guitars like this one, it sounds like colors that I can use, that I'm influenced to use because there's a nice quality of sound to it. Oh my God. Sorry, my nail's catching. Wow. Well, again, this is a 2006 Luigi Locatto guitar. Look at the back and sides on this thing. This three-piece back is beautiful. And it is very easy to play. I have to say, it is the perfect neck for me. And those that have been watching the channel for a little while know that I am very critical of necks. You'll hear some opinionated thoughts there too. This is very thin. I want to say it's probably 20 millimeters at the first fret, maybe 22 or 23 up here at the 9th, and it's C-shaped. There are no shoulders on this darn thing. I mean, actually, there are just a little bit, but it's thin enough and rounded enough to where I don't notice the slight D-ness to the shape. So I actually take that back. There are a little bit of shoulders, but when the neck is this thin and rounded, the D shape doesn't bother me. It's just if it starts to feel rectangular, this is when it's a problem, you know. So sorry, I'm not facing the mics now. Look at that. Oh gosh. I ruined a moment. One last piece on this guitar, and then I'll let you all go. As if you're not free to leave. You have to stay to the end of the stream for the discount code. No, I'm kidding. No discount codes. This guitar is available. This Dake Traphagen guitar is available. Neither of these are on the website. Check it out. Write me an email. Don't check it out. There's nothing to check out. Write me an email if you're interested in either of these. And then the Friederich, there's a full video on this guitar, which you just have to listen to if that was one that was appealing to you. And that one is on the website. So let me know. One last thing on this guitar, and then I will leave. I will end on that note. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been one of the most watched live streams during the stream, for me at least. So thank you so much. Gosh, guys, I think this might be my last live stream through the beginning of January. Maybe I'll do something. I won't have many guitars to show you, but maybe I'll do something this upcoming Tuesday, but that will be very brief. Thank you so much for watching, you all. Write to me if you have any questions, and you have a good rest of your week. All right, bye-bye.